Hello, hello. Let's, if you can hear me, please just say something in the chat so I know that the audio is working and we will get started. Let's see, I see that England is represented, South Carolina, I love that. That's where I went to school. Turquia, that's excellent, excellent. And we have, right now, we have 110 people with us right now. If I can just make sure that people are hearing me, we will go ahead and get started. Let's see. Anyone hear me? Deanna, can you hear me? Perfect. Okay. I'm seeing some of those. Yep, sounds working great. Okay, well, looks like we'll get going. Anyway, we're here to start off the Spanish Teacher Success Academy 2019 online virtual conference. I'm your host, Jared, and I just want to mention real quickly that we have my wife, Diana, and also Lynn are going to be in the chat answering any questions you may have. They're going to be handing off the questions to me as well, so I can answer whatever questions you have about the conference. What we're going to do is we're going to walk through the conference and explain how it works. I'm going to take a little time to answer any questions that you have. And if we still have time afterwards, we're going to go through a couple bullet points to highlight each of the presentations or the sessions that we have throughout the week. So if you are on Twitter, we're using the hashtag STSA19, and you can ask us questions there. You can reach out to the presenters, ask them questions. You can follow up with us, just about anything that you want to ask us. Online as well, I've answered over 1,000 emails already from people asking questions, sharing their challenges, their struggles, their frustrations, and often just to check in and say, hi, I'm here, I got it, we're set, let's get going. So I've had somebody ask me, how long is the live kickoff going to be going on? Basically, I'm going to spend the time here to answer your questions and explain how it works. So as long as you have questions, as long as you're reaching out and there's more questions, I'll just be here and clarify it. I just saw a note that some people say they can't hear me. Let's see. Let me just make sure everything's working. Let's take a look here. Let's see. So if they hit play at the top, then that should get it for them. That's what I understand is working. So I love how people are helping each other out in the chat box. That's awesome. Refresh the page. Let's see. So that was Joyce Ann that was asking. I wonder if you can just hop in, Joyce Ann, and mention that you got it working. That'd be great. Oh, look, I see Sarah Breckley online. She's one of our presenters this week. You be sure to check out Sarah at sarahbreckley.com. She's doing some awesome short 5-minute videos on her CI techniques and how to get those going in your classroom. So be sure to check her out. Let's see. Okay, it looks like, yep. Let's see. Holly says I had to disable restricted mode to see it. Got another person saying they can't hear. Okay, so you have to push play on the screen. That seems to be the consensus role. So once you hit play on the screen, then everything will start flowing for you. Okay, so I think we've got people listening and everything's flowing. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. First, I want to introduce myself. My name is Jared Romey. I am the founder, the blogger, the person behind Speaking Latino, along with my wife, Diana. We have been blogging at Speaking Latino since 2011. But I actually started with learning Spanish and talking about it with my books that I began publishing in 2004, the Speaking Latino books on the different Spanish dialects that came about from me moving from one country to the next and finding out that there is certainly a lot of similarities in the languages, but at the same time, there's a whole lot of differences. And one of my classic examples I use is the word kite. You know, in English, it's pretty much one word, kite. But in Spanish, you've got chiringa, barrilete, volantín, papagayo, chichihua, cometa, barrilete. Let's see, I'm missing papalote. There's a whole bunch of them. And so, that's how my interest in talking about Spanish online started. It was just my personal challenges with learning the language and moving from one country to the next and having to figure out how to say stapler again, or how to say cake, gasoline, things like that. And over the last few years, we've started working with mostly Spanish teachers at this point. My sister-in-law, Diana's sister, is a Spanish teacher. And so she began asking us for kind of help with materials and resources, and we started creating some of those. And at this point, it's been about 2 years since we opened up our Speaking Latino Spanish Teachers community, where we offer resources, materials, and all kinds of support for the Spanish teachers, so they actually have time to leave work in the school and head home and enjoy their families and their weekends and their free time. And as part of that process, I was hearing, and I hear regularly still, from the teachers that, they're looking for continuing education. They'd love to be doing some PD, but the regional, the national conferences, and sometimes even the state conferences were beyond their reach, either because of economics, because of money, or because of the time. If you want to head to a regional or a national conference, that's travel, that's 2 or 3 days there, and travel back, that's costs for hotel, for meals, plus the registration fees. And so getting that PD for them has always been a struggle. And that's how this idea came out for us to do. We've been working on this for about 4 or 5 months now, and it's been an amazing, a fabulous experience for us. And we have, I just checked, we have 5,600 people registered, which is phenomenal. I think that makes it one of the largest conferences, either in person or online, that anybody can attend for world language teachers, for Spanish teachers. And so I'm ecstatic about that. That means a whole lot of PD for people that are just craving it. And we have an amazing lineup this week of presenters that I'll talk about them in quite a bit more detail as we go along here. Just a brief comment about the conference. The conference, it's not just about exploring and discovering new teaching techniques and new ideas. It's about you taking action. It's really important for you to sit down, learn from these amazing presenters, but then go back into your own classroom and put the things into action. Test them out with your students. It's not all going to work the first time. The people that are sharing their ideas here have been doing this for years, and quite often what they're sharing with you, they've done hundreds, if not thousands of times. And so, the important thing is for you to finish a session and try something out the next day. Try something out that week and just get going. Don't hold off. Don't wait till, let me get organized, go back to school next year. No, get out there and just get it going. Let's see, what else? These sessions, this is an important thing. And this came out as I was watching the sessions. I said, wow, it was kind of a light bulb moment for me. These sessions are actually challenging you to be a better teacher. And it's not something that I started thinking about or that I set out to have happen with the conference. But as I'm watching these sessions, I said to myself, if you do some of these things, you will be a better teacher. There's no doubt about it. And so I'm excited that this conference is going to help you do that. It's going to help more people become passionate about Spanish, more people to become passionate about world languages. And I think, and more people, perhaps even more importantly, more people to be aware of other cultures and understand how amazing it is to get to explore the world, either virtually or in person, and get to know people outside of your own culture. So that's what the conference is going to hopefully achieve for you this week. Let's see. Next thing I'm going to cover, I'll go into a little bit about how the conference works. And I know there's been some questions about that. It's kind of it's a new concept. It was new for me when I started working through it as well. And Diana and I both found or discovered a few things along the way about how the conference is going to work. So it's important to go through that, and that's I'm sure one of the main reasons that you're here with us right now. And so, by the way, I'm just looking off to the side occasionally. Oh, Emily Del Risco's here. That's awesome. Hi, Emily. So I'm just looking off to the side occasionally because I have a separate screen that I'm getting notes about questions and comments that are going to help make this flow a little bit better. I saw Emily's here, Sarah's here, and I'm sure a couple others are going to join us as well. Man, all this talking. Okay, so going back to how the conference works this week. First off, everybody registered for free, and the free registration comes with a series of bonuses, and those bonuses are in and of themselves amazing and are worth exploring. The one I want to highlight right now at the moment is the Playbook. The Playbook is a PDF ebook that is about 100 pages long that includes several sections on the setup of the conference, the sessions each day, the calendar. It includes a really cool list of, it's called the massive list of ways to engage with your students, which is one of the main themes of the conference is, how to get your students motivated. I'm finding as I put together the conference and as I reviewed all the sessions, motivating your students, engaging your students, working with students that are bored, that are not interested in the language. It all ties back to the same thing, and it's making your class about them, making your class enjoyable and exciting for them. And so we put together this massive list of ways to engage your students. I forget what it is, but it's probably 80 or 90 ways that you can try things out with, or, ways to methods you can do, things you can do, activities you can do to get your students more motivated and engaged. And I guarantee you've done some of them. If you've done all of them, let us know and we'll keep adding more to the list. But I suggest you look through that and just grab a few ideas there and go, again, try them out today, try them out tomorrow, this week, take action on what you're seeing. Also, in the Playbook, there is a schedule of the sessions that are available for each day, and I'll go ahead and explain that in a little bit more detail as we go out, and the 5 themes that we've identified for the week. There is, this is another important one. On page 79 is how to access all your free bonuses once you register. So that's important. Grab those. And then the other really awesome thing that we were able to include in the Playbook, and this is thank you to the presenters themselves. We took a collection of articles that they've published on their own websites, and we included those in the Playbook. And these articles that are included are kind of introductions into their sessions for the conference. So I suggest you take a look at those articles. They're articles that if you have a chance, read them before you watch the presentations for each person. The other important thing that I want to mention about the free registration is that with the free registration, you can watch every single session. There's 25 sessions, and you can watch every single one of those for free. It's not it's not that there's certain sessions we chose, or there's 5 or 10 of them, or 2 a day, or anything like that. You can watch all of them for free. And I'll explain here the difference between the free registration and the AllAccess Pass paid option, which I know people have been asking about as well. So with the free registration, what we'll do every day is you will receive an email early around 6 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Oh, that's important. Remember, your clocks went forward. I hope so, because everybody's here on time, so I think everybody remembered to do that. But just in case you haven't, your clocks go forward an hour. We'll be sending out an email every morning with the links to the day's sessions. And you can access those at any time, in any order, in fact, as much as you want, during a 48-hour period. So the email that we send out tomorrow for tomorrow's 6 sessions that go live, you can watch until Thursday, right around 6 a.m. Eastern time again. So you have 48 hours to watch as much as you'd like. When we send out Tuesday's email, that'll have the links for Tuesday's sessions, and you can watch those for 48 hours. So you can watch those Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they close down early Thursday morning. And it continues every day throughout the week. And so that's one of the main differences with the AllAccess Pass. The AllAccess Pass, which is $67, gives you immediate access to all the sessions. So if you were to buy the AllAccess Pass now, you would be able to watch. You can binge watch all the sessions you want starting right now. You can shut me off, leave, I'm out of here, Jared's boring me, and you can start watching all the sessions. And you have permanent access as well. So if you want to watch them in a month or 2 or 3 months, they're there for you. If you want to watch them 5 times and go back and figure out what you missed and go implement something in your class and it kind of went off, it didn't work really well, go back, you can watch the session again, then you can do that as well. There's also a set of extra bonuses with the AllAccess Pass that I'll go over in a little bit. And those bonuses are different from the registration bonuses. So it's a list of items, like I said, that I'm going to go over in a quick minute. Let me just take a look at my notes here and see, make sure I covered everything. Oh yeah, one very simple thing, and I would expect most of you haven't had a problem, but make sure that you're receiving my emails, because that is how we are going to send out the session links every day. So best thing to do is just add me to your contacts. My email is Jared, Jared, at speakinglatino.com. And, you know, if you're receiving the emails, then you'll get the emails about how to access the sessions every day. And let's see. I'll talk a little bit about the theme days now. So we have 5 theme days. We put together these 5 theme days kind of based on the struggles and challenges that we've heard you're facing most. And those 5 themes are, tomorrow's theme is the teacher's toolbox. And I'll go through in a little bit, I'll go through each session topic. But tomorrow's sessions include IPAs, project-based learning, assessments, moving away from grammar as part of your teaching. There's Rachel Lucas's presentation on tech tools, and Bethany Drew, how to save time and maintain your sanity. If you hear me say maintain your insanity, I've done that 45 times. I've had to re-record stuff, so it's going to slip out, I'm sure. So the teacher toolbox, tomorrow's theme is just some of the basic tools that you can start exploring a little bit more. Maybe you've probably heard about some of them, even if you don't know a lot about them, and you can just start exploring a little bit more about those. Tuesday's theme is, this is an awesome one for me, and I know some of the speakers are even excited about this because the theme is teaching heritage speakers, and this is one where it's a very challenging topic for teachers right now. There's not a lot of information out there, and so I think we've put together one of the best team of people, of presenters, to talk about this and share their in-class experiences. I see that somebody is asking about the PD certificate. I'll talk about that in a minute when I talk about the AllAccess Pass. I also want to say hi to Sam Finiseth. She apparently just joined us too. So I appreciate all the speakers coming in and joining. And so Tuesday's session is, our Tuesday's theme is about working with heritage speaking students. Wednesday's theme is ways to engage your students. Thursday's theme is ways to motivate your students. And Friday's theme is comprehensible input. And so each of those 5 theme days has between 4 and 6 sessions for each of those days. However, just because a presentation is in one of those themes does not mean that it is only related to that theme. And I'll give you some good examples. Tina Hargaden, who just joined us as well, her session, we placed in the teacher toolbox, and it's about assessments, how to assess your students. But obviously, Tina has a very strong CI background and focus, and so there's a lot of tie-in with comprehensible input into her session. A couple other examples are Bethany Drew's session is another good example. Hers is in the teacher toolbox day, but she does talk quite a bit about student engagement as well, and ideas how to improve student engagement. And another one is Michaela McCoy's session on using arts in the Heritage speaker classroom. We included that in the engaging with your students, and that was something she and I discussed, specifically because we both decided that while her focus and her presentation and her background is using arts with heritage speaking students, the reality is that it's something, or what she was discussing in her session is something that can be used for all across classes, not just with heritage speaking students. So those are the themes for the week. Let's see what else. I think I covered everything there. So I'll talk a little bit more about the AllAccess Pass and the bonuses that are included. So I know there's a question. I've actually had a lot of questions about a PD certificate, if that's an option. The short answer is yes, that's an option. It comes with the paid upgrade at $67. And I'm just going to mention it for a moment. There's a button, I think it's a purple button, I'm going to say. I hope it's a purple one, where you can upgrade to the paid version whenever you'd like. And these bonuses are included in the paid version. I happen to think that at $67, it's one of the most, now I'm biased, I know, I'll accept that, it's one of the most reasonable, alcanzable options to obtain a PD certificate, and then it's like you get all the extra bonuses for free. So the way the PD certificate works is when you upgrade to the AllAccess Pass, you are given a login to a website called Teachable, and Teachable gives you all the materials, all the sessions, all the bonuses, everything that you receive with the AllAccess Pass for the SDSA conference. The way the PD certificate works is you go through and you mark each of the sessions as you watch them, as you finish them. And when you mark all the sessions, and that includes the bonuses and everything, when you mark all of that, then Teachable will send you a PD certificate. It has a unique serial number. It's not something that you can share with 10 other people, because it will say your name is tied to this serial number. And I have had some coordinators at schools reach out to me and ask if there was any way to see how much the teacher really completed. I do have a way to see it. I don't actually know in Teachable if it's something you can see as well, or if it's because we can see it as administrators. However, we can see how much of a video you watched, and it's like a heat map, as Sarah brought this word up to me the other day. It's like a heat map of the videos that you've watched. So I can see if you watched 20 minutes of a 45-minute video or if you finished it. So if anybody reaches out to me and wants to confirm that, I will get the user's authorization first and then confirm it to the school coordinator or whoever asks. Otherwise, it is a bit of an honor system. The other important thing worth mentioning for the PD certificate is this completely depends on your school district, and your state. It varies completely from state to state. I looked into trying to do something a little more formal, but the requirements from state to state and even within districts vary so much that it's just not an option for us to make sure that it's something that can be offered in every state. The PD certificate is for 22 hours of video sessions. So again, that's one of the main things that is included in the upgrade to the AllAccess Pass. A few of the other things, this next one is awesome. This was my favorite. This was really cool to do, and this came out from an idea from the speakers themselves. So we put together a list of 12 questions that I recorded interviews with, or conversations with the speakers, asking the speakers impromptu their answers to these 12 questions. And these 12 questions are questions that the other presenters shared with me and basically said, hey, I'm presenting. I kind of wonder what the other presenters think about this or what they're doing with this. And so I want to hear their answers. So we put those together. And it is another, I think, 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours worth of sessions. which are fabulous because you're seeing one-on-one the answers to these really cool questions that we have, and they really allow you to explore and to dive a little bit more into what's working for them in their classrooms. Questions from, what's your one trick to save time? How do you decompress after a particularly challenging day? How do you assess comprehension? Things like that. And if you're curious kind of how the sessions go back to the free registration bonuses, and you'll see Annabelle Williamson's video. By the way, I want to say congratulations to Annabelle. She just had a baby a couple weeks ago, and he was born on my dad's birthday, so I'm never going to forget that. That's awesome. So check out her video, and it'll give you a good idea of what the Q&A mastermind sessions are with us going through and asking the questions. Another bonus, MP3 downloads for the audios of the presentations. So, if you want to listen in the car, you want to listen while you're at the gym exercising, you want to listen, wherever you are on the go, you can slap one of the MP3s onto your device, and you can go with that. Another bonus is the resource guide we put together. I believe it's 17 pages that lists all the resources that the presenters mention throughout their sessions. Now, I know one of the things that takes a significant amount of time for a world language teacher to do is to investigate and find resources that you need. And so I think that ebook will save you a serious amount of time. It includes literally hundreds of resources, from academic papers to books to blogs to videos, just a whole series of resources for you. Another thing included in the All Access Pass are discounts to workshops. We have a discount to a workshop from Dr. Jenna Cushing-Lubner and University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. They do an online heritage speaker introduction certificate, and Tina Hargaden is also offering a discount to her workshops, her in-person live workshops that she does. So that is in the All Access Pass, and there's information on how to get those discounts if you've already signed up. We also have a discount to the Spanish teacher, the Speaking Latino Spanish teacher community that I mentioned early on, where we're getting you lesson plans and resources, materials, posters, classroom decorations, signs. We have a huge selection of realia materials like menus and hotel signs and street signs and just all kinds of stuff for you there. There's a discount if you want to do either the monthly or the annual option there. And we also have a selection of materials that were provided by some of the presenters. And I know off the top of my head, Maris Hawkins did an IPA for us to include, and Adrian Brandenburg put in a couple of her materials on the curriculum flow for heritage speakers. And then we've created materials as well. For example, for Sarah Breckley's session, we created a list of cognates that you can use with your students. As she was talking about cognates in her presentation. And so we created that list. And there's several other materials that we've created to get you taking what you're learning in the sessions and implementing those in your classroom as well. One other question I want to answer real quickly after I take a sip of water is this conference, Spanish Teacher Success Academy. Is it okay? Is it useful for teachers other than Spanish? The answer is absolutely, definitely yes. So the follow-up is, why is it called Spanish Teachers? Well, in part because that's where my knowledge started from. And so when I started putting the conference together, that was my original focus. As I started reaching out to our presenters, and as I started hearing their ideas and seeing their sessions, I realized really quickly that, yes, this applies to any world language. And in fact, I'm glad A lot of people figured that out along the way. Some people asked, a lot of people figured that out. So I've seen Chinese teachers signed up. I've seen French teachers. I've seen ESL teachers. I've seen ASL, American Sign Language teachers. I think I've seen some German teachers. You know, if you're covering one of the languages or a language that I just didn't mention, just mention it in the chat real fast, because I'd like to know, you know, the range of teachers that we are reaching with this. So that was one other important thing I wanted to cover. Let me see. Did I say that Rachel Lucas is in the house? My son is going. He's not here right now, unfortunately. He's going nuts. He was jumping up and down. I don't know. He heard me say Rachel Lucas once a few days ago, and then we got on a live stream with her. He was going crazy. And so he was asking me today if Rachel Lucas was coming to the house. And anyway, so that was fun. We're going to have to meet at some point with him in tow, because he's just going to be ecstatic. So I see Rachel Lucas is here. Let's see. Oh, you know, real fast, I want to mention, if you do have any questions, I know one or two of you have posted questions, but if you do have any questions, go ahead and drop them in the chat right now as I'm talking, and Deanna will get those questions to me, and I'll make sure I answer those before we finish out here. Let's see. Let me just take a look and see what else we need to cover. So the free and paid options. If anybody has a question about how the free option is delivered this week, please be sure to ask that now. And if you have any questions about the difference between the free and the paid options for the conference, please, I want to make sure that that's really clear for everybody too. So let's see. Before I head off to do, I do want to mention this. So if anybody buys the All Access Pass before the end of this session, okay. Let's see. Deanna's. Deanna's telling me that there's a whole lot of comments and they're flying by pretty fast. And so if we're not getting a question answered for you, then please, feel free to repeat it, and just make sure that she or Lynn see the question. So what I was saying was, the one thing I'll do is, if you buy the All Access Pass before the end of this live kickoff, then I will make sure that you will receive an unannounced bonus video that I'm going to share with everybody. I'm not going to tell you what it is until the end here. So if I'm closing out and I don't tell you what it is, remind me before I close out the video. But I promise you, it's really cool. It's one of our presenters going into quite a bit of detail about the presenter's thoughts on education nowadays. And one other thing, I'm going to mention this because it's not in my notes and I don't want to forget it. So this week, throughout the week, I'm going to be doing live Q&A sessions with some of the presenters. Let's see. I know Laurie Clarcq has confirmed for me, and Michaela McCoy has confirmed for me. I think I'm going to be able to get Maris Hawkins on as well, depending on her schedule. And then a few of you that are in the chat right now, if you'd like to do one during the week, then please let me know. I haven't reached out to the presenters each personally, mostly just because things have been crazy nuts the last few days, getting ready for all this, but and answering emails. I'm still just blown away. 1,000 I think it was 1,100 emails last time I looked. That's a lot of emails to answer. So we'll be doing those in the evenings, just to make it a little bit easier for everybody on the West Coast to join in as well. And what we can do there is answer some of the questions that you have. So if you have any questions, you can submit those to us via email, even on Facebook, and I'll check into Twitter occasionally, see if there's any questions. Be sure to use the hashtag on Twitter, STSA19. That's how I'm tracking everything. And we'll ask them some of the questions that you have. Ideally, if you can watch their sessions and then ask some questions as follow-ups, that would be fabulous. And so I do have some questions and challenges that have been submitted to us that I'll be sure to ask them. But if you have more, then please go ahead and do that as well. Now, before I get to some of the frequently asked questions and go into just some of the bullet points about the individual sessions, I want to thank the presenters specifically for participating in this conference. With one or two exceptions, none of them knew who I was. And the one or two that did know who I was knew about my website. I don't know if they knew my name particularly, if they put my name together with the website. I'd traded emails with one or two of them before. And so it's been an amazing group of people. I basically just cold called, reached out to these people. I stalked them a little bit on Twitter, on Facebook, email, their websites, just all over the place. And from their standpoint, just kind of this crazy guy reaching out and doing this thing that they'd never heard of and didn't know what was going on and who is this and all of them, absolutely all of them were amazingly receptive to talking with me. I have now spent hours in video chats with the majority of them. I was fortunate enough to meet up with Laurie Clarcq when she and I spent 2.5 hours one morning over coffee, just talking about life, really. It was an amazingly fun opportunity for me. I hope I'm getting to the SCOLT conference in a week and a half, 2 weeks. And I know there's 6 or 8 of the presenters that are going to be there. So I'm looking forward to meeting them in person as well. So I want to just say thank you to the presenters. They have done an amazing amount of work here. They're sharing some incredible ideas. And so I want to ask you to support the presenters. And the ways that you can support the presenters are you can follow them on social media. And really important, in the playbook that I mentioned, that's one of the registration bonuses on pages 5 and 6. There is this amazing matrix of how to contact them on social media, whether it's their website, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Teachers Pay Teachers. I think YouTube may be there as well. So, follow them. They share these ideas. They share these amazing ideas and techniques all the time. And so just be sure to follow them. Join any live streams they do. I know they do a lot of live stream videos, some of them. Interact with them. That's the big thing. Interact with them. And just as importantly, buy things from them. They have curricula available, books, lesson plans, resources, materials, and please attend their workshops. They do workshops in person. A lot of them fly across the country to do district workshops, classes, just anything. So reach out to them. They are all extremely accessible. And I'm proof of that because they didn't know who I was. And I said, hey, I want to put this conference together. And they all just said, yes, we're doing this. So again, I want to thank them for that. And please just make sure that you follow and check in with them regularly as well. We have a couple of questions here. Let's see. Let's see if we're missing any. Okay. So, with the All Access Pass, this is another important thing. The All Access Pass is available to purchase during the conference. And we're going to close down the purchase on Monday the 18th. So after Monday the 18th, you will not be able to purchase the All Access Pass. We're closing it down. So if you're kind of on the fence about it, you have till next Monday the 18th to think about it. Take a look at a couple of sessions. You're going to find that it's an incredible amount of value here. It's an incredible opportunity. So grab that before Monday. That's one thing. Another question, if I paid for the pass, for the All Access Pass, how do I access the conference afterwards? The answer is you access it the same way that you do as soon as you pay for it. Right away, you will receive email instructions from a website called Teachable that gives you a login and gives you access, and that is permanently how you access it. If you purchase the All Access Pass, you do not need to look for our daily emails explaining how to connect to the sessions. Okay, you can do it at your own pace. You can go through, and so there is no need for you to figure out where to access it. It's just logging in to the website Teachable, and again, you'll receive emails for it with login information, and then you can just go in there and watch anytime you'd like. Let's see, another question we have here. Will the live Q&As be recorded and included as part of the All Access Pass? So apparently, I guess Deanna answered that already. So yes, it looks like we are going to be including the live Q&A sessions in the All Access Pass as well. Let's see if there's anything else about the All Access Pass. Let me go to take a look at the FAQs that I had and see if we've covered all those. Oh yeah, this is a good one. What time do the sessions start this week? So the way the sessions are set up, when they go live, which is right around 6 a.m. every morning, you have 48 hours to watch them. So we purposefully did not assign a time to each session. So it's not a 2 p.m., a 6 p.m., 8 p.m. session that you have to watch. And we wanted to do that because, the reality is we're busy people. And not everybody can make time to watch a session at 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. I mean, I certainly can. My life gets crazy at like 5 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. every day, and so with kids in the house. And so what we did was we made the sessions available live for available for 48 hours. And so you can watch them anytime during those 48 hours. If you want to squeeze it in during your lunch break, if you have time at 6 a.m., 7 a.m. and you want to watch one, if you have a planning period and you want to watch, if you're, awake in the middle of the night, you can watch it. And so you can watch the sessions in any order you want within that 48-hour window, and as many times as you want. Let's see. How can I ask follow-up questions to presenters? So there's a couple of different ways. The first is if you have the All Access Pass, within Teachable, there is an option to put a comment in for each session that you go into. Now, it's hard to maybe visualize it without going in and logging in and checking it out. But if you have any problems finding where it is, just reach out to us and we'll walk you through it. You go in, you can ask a question. We'll be checking in with those questions. I think the presenters will as well. And we will look into getting an answer for you to the question as quickly as possible. I want to thank Paulino Brenner for mentioning that to me. I didn't realize that was an option in Teachable, and we got that turned on already. So thank you, Paulino, for suggesting that and making that happen. And that's for the All Access Pass buyers. If you're in the free registration, the best thing to do is probably to post it in Facebook at our Speaking Latino page, where we can tag the presenters, we can forward it to them, we can track them down, we can chase them down and get answers for you there. You can also email me as well, jared@speakinglatino.com, although I will say that there's been several days this week that I've spent several hours answering emails, and so email is probably not going to be, if my email box is inundated again, it's not going to be the best way for you to reach out to me and to ask your questions. You can also, of course, and I mentioned this earlier, with the presenters and social media, you can ask them directly on social media, and but use the tag STSA19, and that way I'll know that you're asking the question and I can nag them and follow up a little bit. Let's see. Why are this was a question that came up on social media quite a bit, on Facebook. Why are the sessions in English if this is a Spanish teachers conference? Well, I answered that a little bit earlier when I talked about if this conference was for world language teachers or not. The reality is English just kind of came out as the main language with the presenters, but it turned out to be the right thing to do, because not everybody attending the sessions or interested in the sessions speak Spanish. And so it's, one of mine and Deanna's main goals and purposes for putting this together this conference was to get the information out there to teachers. Teachers need this, they crave this, they tell us all the time that they want help with this. And so, but my feeling is the more teachers we can reach with this, the better. I don't feel like it has to be limited to Spanish teachers only. And so why not do it in English, where other teachers can get the same benefits and and get their students motivated with the same techniques. So that's why it's in English. I think that's something we will do next time in the next conference, assuming we're going to do that. I got to say, I might have to convince the family a little bit on that still, but we'll try and keep the English. I do also think it would be fun to bring in some Spanish sessions as well. So that's something we'll look at too. Next question. This is the last written question that I have. We've answered a bunch of them as we went. So this was a fun one for me that I got an email the other day. In fact, from a couple different people, but I'd like to be considered to present in a future conference. How should I contact you? So I'm really approachable. You can reach me on social media, my email I've mentioned a couple times. If you want to present, I would love to talk to you about it. For me, one of the amazing things in this whole process is just been reaching out to everybody and getting to know them. I have some really cool friends that I've been spending a lot of time with over the last months, and I would love to hear from you and your ideas. One of the coolest sessions that I think is in the conference because it ties into my personal interests. Is from Kristen Montgomery. It's not something I would have come up with as a topic, which is kind of funny when I tell you what it is in a second. But she reached out to me basically blind. I posted in a Facebook group, "Hey, I'm putting together an online conference. If you want to present, let me know." And she reached out to me. And so if you see me asking somewhere, or even not, if you have an idea right now, drop me a quick email now and we'll follow up for next time. So Kristen's session, I'll just mention this real fast, is embracing cultural identities. And included in that is exploring the different dialects of Spanish. So it's kind of funny that I didn't really come up or have this topic in mind when that's kind of my whole background. So be sure to check out her session. It's a really fun one, I think. And she tackles Spanglish as well, and how Spanglish is an interesting tool to explore and something to celebrate and not look down upon or to make fun of or to try and eliminate. So other than that, I don't have any other prepared questions. I know. Let's see. Deanna got me a couple others. Oh, yeah. Can we watch and chat at the same time? And it looks like she answered that as well. No, because the sessions are pre-recorded. They aren't live. And putting on 25 live sessions in a week was beyond my ability and energy and knowledge. So the sessions are pre-recorded. Besides, can you imagine trying to coordinate schedules for everybody like that? That's crazy. That's just crazy. So the sessions are pre-recorded, and that's why you have the option with the AllAccess Pass to place your comments within each of the sessions there, and we will follow up with those as we see those. And that's also why I want to try and do some of the live Q&A sessions so people can come and take advantage of some of that opportunity to ask questions as well. And let's see. So why is it called? Oh, I'm supposed to, never mind. So apparently there's a question that I'm supposed to ignore now, so I'll ignore that question. So really, the last thing I have, I just want to take a break for a second. I'm going to drink a sip of water again. If you have a question about the AllAccess Pass, the free registration, the sessions, anything else about the conference, please let me know. Just type it in right now, and we'll get that answered for you. We are now 48 minutes in, and I want to make sure that everybody can get on with their Sundays. Everybody's really clear on how the conference works. So go ahead and ask any questions that you have. So it looks like nothing else at the moment. I'm going to go in and share a couple bullet points from each of the sessions that we've put together. If you want to take notes now, it's probably a good time to help you kind of prioritize or coordinate or figure out which of the sessions you're interested in, which ones are applicable to you. Oh, yeah, there was one thing I was going to mention a little bit about my background, but one of the I keep using the word amazing, but it's true. One of the spectacular, amazing, incredible, phenomenal things about this conference, putting this conference together, has been to see that the way I learned Spanish, first how I studied Spanish in a public school in the U.S., and then how I really focused on learning Spanish is very different than how it's starting to be taught in the U.S. The way I learned was the classic grammar, vocabulary lists, exercises, fill in the blanks, and it wasn't always fun. Language should be fun to me, and so what happened was I didn't learn it perhaps as quickly as I could have if my teachers had known about these techniques that are being explored throughout the conference. And so it's been fun for me to see that, yes, those techniques are out there. And when I really began learning Spanish, I learned Spanish in my early to mid 20s. I would say I became fluent in Spanish. I was probably 25, 20, let's see. Let's say 25 to 27 years old. That's about when I moved abroad. So that's when I became fluent in Spanish. And how did that happen? It was when I was using the language every day. I was working in a place. This was in the U.S. It was in Washington, D.C. But I was working in the place where I was, there were 2 Americans and like 25 Latinos in my department where I was working. And Spanish was the main language. And so I was around it all the time. And that's when it became kind of more interesting for me. That's when I really got into it. I went back and in my master's degree, I spent 5 weeks of 8 hours of class a day and 2 to 4 hours of homework at night. So it wasn't this was in the U.S., so it wasn't like a true immersion, but I was inundated with the language. And again, that was a very motivating opportunity for me. That included some of the kind of the traditional classic grammar techniques and vocabulary lists and things like that. But there were a lot of other things there. We watched what was that? The telenovela Destinos. We watched Destinos every day in class, and some fun stuff like that. So it's been fun for me to see that going on in these sessions here. And I just wanted to share that these sessions are going to challenge you as a teacher to become more efficient with your time, to become more effective with your teaching techniques, to be more engaging for your students, to be more understanding and inclusive. And they're going to make you question your daily routines to figure out if it's the right thing for you to be doing. They're going to make you question how you're grading, why you're grading, how you're assessing, why you're assessing. Everything that you're doing. These sessions are going to help you question them for yourself. And then one of the other amazing things out of this is there's a side focus on self-care. It's a very stressful job to be a teacher. It can be a very emotional. It can be a very challenging. And one of the things that you need to focus on is yourself in the whole process, because if you're not, healthy, then your students aren't going to be the best off. Your family's not going to be the best off, and you certainly aren't going to be the best off. And so, these sessions help you explore all those areas there. Couple of cool things that you're going to see in these sessions. You're going to see a real class in action. I mentioned this, I think in the bullet point, so I might repeat it, but Sarah Breckley did this fascinating thing. When I got her session, I thought it was really cool. Half of her presentation is, the video is an hour. I think off the top of my head, it's about an hour. Her presentation is about a half an hour. The other half an hour is a camera in her classroom with she and her students interacting with each other. And so you're seeing her techniques live with students. And that's one thing that I think is amazing that she included and is just fabulous to be able to see. You're going to hear from students commenting about some of their projects. And off the top of my head, Michaela McCoy's session does that. She lets them talk about their experiences and their projects and what they're doing. You're going to see a variety of fun presentation styles as well. And one other fun thing you're going to see an example in French. So that's kind of a fun inclusion as well. Let me just take a look at questions here. Is there an average length for the sessions? Yeah, so again, this is off the top of my head. The shortest session is about 25 minutes long. The longest, I think, is like an hour and 25 minutes. But they vary completely. I would say most of them are within the 40-minute to an hour and 5-minute range. Just to give you an idea. But again, there are 25 sessions, and they total up to almost 23 hours of video. So, roughly, what's that, 50, 55 minutes on average. Let's see. The bonus that I mentioned for anybody that purchases the AllAccess Pass before the session ends today, yes, if you purchased it before, yes, you will receive that as well, of course. Yep. Yeah, I'll make sure that you get that as well. And what we'll do is we'll add that into the teachable option that you have. Yeah. So somebody asked, will the bonuses for the AllAccess Pass be announced? Yes, they are announced. They are on. It looks like, I expect Deanna shared the link in the chat. The URL, I'll just mention it real fast, is SpanishTeachersSuccessAcademy.com/pass, as in PASS, P as in Paul, so pass. And you can go down, if you go down like halfway down the page, you're going to see a picture with a computer screen and a cell phone and like an iPad, and it has our logo on it. And so if you go down there, it goes into detail about the bonuses, but the bonuses are mentioned there. I expect they are mentioned in a few other places too. Off the top of my head, I don't remember if they're in the Playbook, but they should be. I think they're mentioned in the Playbook. Even if they're not detailed, the Playbook tells you also where you can go find out more information about them. And once I get through the bullet points on the sessions, I can go ahead and repeat those as well for you right now. In fact, I can just run through those real fast. So I need to find my notes on the AllAccess Pass bonuses. Okay, so the AllAccess Pass bonuses, you get lifetime access to the sessions. You also get immediate access to the sessions. So the sessions that roll out on Thursday, if you buy the AllAccess Pass now, you get them now. You get all 25 sessions right now. You get the PD certificate. You get the Q&A mastermind sessions, which are 12 videos, 12 different videos. It's, again, about 2.5 to 3 hours extra of just Q&As with the presenters that are really fun. And you get the downloadable audio MP3 files for on the go. So each of the 25 sessions has an audio file you can download and listen to the session if you prefer. As you're running around your day. You get the STSA resource guide, which is the list of all the resources that the presenters mention in their sessions. And again, that's 17 pages. It includes books, academic papers, websites, specific blog articles, other resources, YouTube channels, websites, and technology tools, just a whole series of resources for you. You get discounts to Dr. Jenna Cushing-Lubner's Introduction to Heritage, or Teaching Heritage Speakers workshop, and you get a discount to Tina Hargaden's workshops as well. You get a discount to the Speaking Latino Spanish teachers community, which includes all of the support, the teaching materials, the lesson plans, the classroom decoration items, the realia that we have, substitute teacher lesson plans that you can use with substitute teachers who don't speak any Spanish. There's a massive quantity of materials in there, support materials. And we also happen to have a private Facebook community where you can reach out to us with any ideas, questions you have, struggles frustrations. You can share, your questions with other teachers in the community, and we can help you and answer you there with all of that. And then the All Access Pass also includes bonus materials created by the presenters and by us to accompany the sessions that you're going to see this week. So that just real fast are the bonuses included in the All Access Pass. Again, the All Access Pass is $67, and it's available until Monday, next coming Monday, the 18th. So after that, we're closing it down, and it's not going to be available again. It's possible we'll open up in the future, but it'll be at a significantly higher price if we do that. You won't ever see $67 again, ever. So we're going into an hour here. Let's see, I have another question. Will there be a difference in the conference if you're an All Access member or not? I mean, the basic difference, this is for Laura asking this. The basic difference is the permanency to the access. With the All Access Pass, you can watch the sessions whenever you want. Today, tomorrow, a week, 2 weeks, and watch them as much as you want. With the live free registration, you can watch, you have a 48-hour window to watch each day's sessions. So again, if you want to watch tomorrow's sessions, you can watch them from tomorrow until Wednesday morning, and they're closed out. Tuesday sessions you can watch from Tuesday to Thursday morning, and then they close out. Wednesday sessions until Friday morning, they close out. Thursday sessions until Saturday morning, and it closes out. And then Friday sessions until Sunday morning, and then it closes out. So that's the main difference. But beyond that, the differences are the bonuses I just went through, and the bonuses are, I think, significant. They are. It's a huge. When you purchase the All Access Pass and you log into the screen where you actually access all the information, it's a massive amount of stuff. I mean, we're talking almost 30 hours of videos on top of all kinds of teaching materials and resources and the other materials that we mentioned. So it is a significant amount of bonuses that make up what the difference between the free access and the paid access are. So I'm just going to hop through real fast. I know everybody's getting ready to move on with their day. I'll hop through the basic bullet points that we've put together for the sessions. And I'll start tomorrow with the teacher toolbox theme and the sessions for tomorrow. So Laura Sexton's session on the ABCs of project-based learning. She goes into background detail about PBL and practical tips to help teachers get started with it. And she does a fun little thing with her session in that she literally goes through the ABCs, all 26 letters, and shares with you the concepts and the ideas behind PBL. Albert Fernandez does a fun thing in his session. His session is on moving away from grammar-based teaching, and he shares some of his students' projects, and those are really cool. I got to say, those are really fun things that he shares. They're drawings, and it's just fun for him to share how those drawings came about with the students and to talk about that. And he focuses on working with novice learners to build up their confidence and competence before learning about grammar and going into more of the advanced ideas. Maris Hawkins walks through integrated performance assessments and how they're structured, how to set those up, and gives you ideas on how to implement those in the classroom. Tina Hargaden does a session on demystifying assessments, which was, this was a fun one because Tina had never heard of me, never knew who I was, and she wrote a post on assessments in Facebook that I read that and I was like, that is a session that needs to be presented. That is a topic that needs to be covered. And so I reached out to her and I said, hey, this post in Facebook that you just wrote about, I want you to do a session on that. And by the way, I'm Jared and this and that and the conference and whatever. So, that came out of feedback that she was getting from people, struggles that she was getting from people. And so she does a fun job of showing you what assessment should look like in the classroom. And and one other point about that is how to make assessments useful for the students, not just to get a grade and to do it, check the mark that, okay, yeah, I need a grade for my students, and I need to put that in the grade book, and administration's happy, and we move on. It is, how do you make an assessment truly useful for students? Bethany Drew goes into a session on improving the use of your time as a teacher and maintaining your sanity as well at the same time. So how teachers can save time both in the short and the long term. And then she also focuses on relationship building. And then the sixth session for tomorrow is by Rachel Lucas, who discusses 5 of her favorite online tech tools right now that she has reviewed and kind of filtered through to find find the best tools that are easy to use. The cost is reasonable, and it's something that teachers can manage, and then also have potential for lesson planning. And so I'm going to, before I move on to Tuesday sessions and the bullet points from Tuesday sessions, there's another question about the the action guide that I'm going to ask about. I think I'm sold on the AllAccess Pass. Should I purchase the extra book for $17? This is my own money. How many of you are buying it? I would assume the person is addressing that to everybody else in the chat, not just me. What I will say is, the majority, so over 50%, over 50% of the people that are buying the AllAccess Pass are buying the action guide. And I'm the biased guy sitting here in front of the camera saying this. The action guide, to give you a little bit more detail about it, is the session notes for each of the sessions. So we went through and watched each of the sessions and created notes on what the presenters are speaking or what the presenters are sharing. And so it's the session notes, it's the resources that they mention. Now, these are the resources mentioned in the resource guide as well. However, these are organized a little bit differently. Basically, they're organized around each session a little bit differently. So those are there. And we did that. It's in 2 places, in the resource guide and the action guide, just for ease of use, basically. But then the other really powerful portion of the action guide is what are the next 2, 3, 4, I think up to maybe 5 steps that you can take after watching the session to start taking action in your classroom. So you finish the session. What do? Well, we have that set up for you already. We have those steps there. And it's not always a 1, 2, 3 of, okay, I do this and then this and then this and then this. It is, you can do this and you can do this and you can do this. And those 3 things will get you started with the concepts in here. Now, if you want to do the second one, but not the first one, that's up to you. You can do that. They're not all chronological that you need to follow. But so the main things about the action guide are the session notes, which, to me, somebody that consumes a lot of online materials, taking notes are great because if you have a course or you have presentations and sessions, you're not going to get everything the first time around. And so you want to take notes with it. Well, if you have notes already taken and you can just add a few comments on instead of having to take all the notes, that means that you can focus on what the person's saying and jot down a couple of things instead of having to actually sit and listen line by line and take notes line by line. So it's a massive time saver. The action guide's a huge time saver. And then the action steps is the other big thing that I mentioned. It's going to get you taking action in your classroom. And I think, to me, that is the most important thing out of this conference. It's great to come listen to these ideas and hear from teachers and get motivated and get energized or re-energized again. But if you are not taking action with your students, then you're missing the last step. And so that's where the action guide plays in. The action guide is $17 at checkout. That's the only time you'll ever see that price. You won't ever see that price again other than when you buy the AllAccess Pass. At any other point, if we offer it, it is more expensive than that. If you're not sure about it, again, I suggest doing it. It's going to make your experience with the conference a whole lot more powerful, because it's going to allow you to continue doing things for months to come, at least, from what you pull and learn from the conference. So I'm going to continue with the quick bullet points that I have. Tuesday's sessions are about, the theme is teaching heritage speakers again. And so Dr. Jenna Cushing-Lubner, her session does just a fabulous job about understanding how to structure your L2 and your heritage speaker classes to make sure the focus is on the correct teaching, the correct topics that you cover at the varying levels of the students. Obviously, the students don't all have the same needs. And even within heritage speaking students, they have different needs. And so she does a really good job of walking through that and explaining how to classify those. And she does, she pulls data and research out to back up the ideas, which more than convincing you is really important to help you convince your administration, because I've heard from a lot of teachers that get a little bit of pushback about this, about why can't they just go with the L2 learners and let's just do that. We just don't have enough to do a separate heritage speaker class or to do multiple levels of heritage speaking classes. Well, she provides you with some of the actual academic research as to why that's important. Adrian Brandenburg does a fun presentation on the myths and truths around heritage speaking that she's pulled together from her experience in the classroom. And it's really fun, I think, to question some of the basic ideas that are out there and to make you question. This is one that does a good job of making you question who you are as a teacher and where your focus is. It just makes you think a little bit about some of the ideas that you may have or may not have about teaching heritage speakers. And then Dr. Florencia Henshaw's presentation goes into very specifically the spelling needs of heritage speakers as opposed to the second language students and how those needs are different. And then she offers up activities that you can do to reinforce spelling with heritage speaking students. Sam Finisith has a presentation on managing mixed classrooms. And again, this comes from her personal knowledge of juggling this in her role as a teacher. This is one of the sessions that I mentioned most to people when they emailed me, because this is where a lot of people are having challenges with. Now, it wasn't always mixed classrooms with heritage speakers and second language learners. Some of the questions were also about just mixed classrooms with different levels. So like a classroom with Spanish 1, 2, 3, and even 4 in the same classroom. And so she goes through some of the foolproof routines, including goal setting and proper organization that can help you manage mixed classrooms. Kristen Montgomery's session I mentioned earlier does a fun job of helping you work with students, with heritage speaking students, to embrace their identities, to help them understand that they should be proud of their identities and their backgrounds. And I also mentioned earlier that she explores Spanglish and how Spanglish is an important tool for use in the classroom as well. And then she, tied into the recognition and embracing the heritage backgrounds. She talks about the different dialects and how to involve the different dialects of Spanish into the classrooms. And then the sixth session that we have on Tuesday is with Jen Lopez, and she explores free voluntary reading and identity affirming projects that you can do with your heritage speaking students. And she also explores the idea of customizing the lessons to specifically what the students need instead of sticking to a textbook. And so again, this is also something where, if you're customizing what your students need to their actual needs, then they're going to be more motivated. They're going to be more engaged. And so this is another session that, okay, yeah, it's in the heritage speaking theme day, but it crosses over for sure. And one of the keys that I pulled out of the heritage speaking sessions, and Jen's session highlights this as well, is the approach of teaching Spanish as a language arts teacher, as opposed to teaching Spanish as a modern language teacher. So moving along to Wednesday, the theme is engaging with your students, and we have Meredith White that teaches, that she shares her thoughts and ideas on classroom management, on planning effectively to help build your students' confidence, and that they become comfortable with classroom routines. And, you know, she does something that I kind of mentioned at the beginning, which is every teacher is a work in progress, and every teacher has somewhere they can improve. Oh, by the way, I'll mention that is one of the questions that we included in the mastermind Q&A sessions that are part of the AllAccess Pass. We asked them, you know, what is one area where you would like to improve? And there's some really fun, interesting answers there. So Meredith explores that. And, you know, another thing that Meredith does really well, and if you talk to her for 5 or 10 minutes, you realize this, or if you've watched a video of her or anything, she questions current teaching paradigms and makes you think about it and question if that's the right thing to be doing or not. So that's Meredith's session. Laurie Clarcq goes into the micro community of the classroom and the macro community, and, you know, developing this sense of community in the classroom. How students and teachers can support each other within the classroom, but as a larger school community as well. Annabelle Williamson goes into quite a bit of detail about building relationships with your students through empathy and kindness, and how to get students to feel more confident about themselves. Let's see if we have any more questions. And then I'll get to, there's another question, I'll get to that in a second. And then Michaela McCoy's presentation, I mentioned a little bit earlier as well, is on arts, using arts in the heritage speaker classroom, although it can apply to any world language classroom as well. She does a good job of offering a whole selection of resources that'll help you do that too. So, you know, if the arts, it's an interesting session to watch because it's a kind of a different or a unique way into trying something different with your students in class. And then on Thursday, motivating your students is the theme, and we have Emily Del Risco going into interactive notebooks, and she basically walks you through the steps needed to get you started with interactive notebooks. And she was generous enough to include a kind of like a interactive notebook starter kit to download with the free registration. So you should look for that in the bonuses. And it talks about, she talks about, you know, tailoring it to your own students' needs as well. And so, you know, when you're doing things that are unique to each of the students that allow them to express who they are and express themselves, then, you know, it's much more motivating and interesting for them. Allison Wienhold goes into making sure your students are never bored by sharing her ways that you can implement movement in the classroom. And that is, okay, if you're looking around and people are getting bored and falling asleep or, you know, whatever, get them out of their chair, get them moving, get them doing toe touches or jumping jacks or whatever. And some of the other ways that she explores to do that. In Amy Leonard's session, she talks about how getting your students confident means that the more confidence they have, the more motivated they can have, which, you know, as a chain leads to more enhanced language production. Basically, they're learning the language better and more. And then the key to this is make students feel like they are invested in their own learning. You know, which is sometimes a challenge, especially for Spanish or world languages. I don't need to learn this. I'm never going to use it. Why bother? And so, you know, Amy explores that for you. And then the fourth session on Thursday is from Erin Gilreath Carlson, who shares her approach to teaching reading, writing, and speaking to get all three of those activities in practice every single day in the classroom. And she also allows you to, she shares how to either do it more in depth or less in depth, depending on the time that you have. She shared with me that she only has 50 minutes of class with her students. I think it was 3 times a week, maybe just 2 times a week. She teaches at the college level, so she has less time. And so, she's very aware of, okay, if you don't have a lot of time, here's what you can do. Now, if you have more time, then you can go in depth and do this. I'm going to pause for a second and answer the question that we have pending here. Laura says, when we purchase the AllAccess Pass, will we have access to all future conferences like this one, or would we have to pay again? This is only for this conference. You would definitely have to pay again. This is a huge production. This is not something that we can continue to do in the future and include in the same price. I suppose I hadn't really thought about it. We could think of like a lifetime access at some point, but it's not something we thought about for this. And so, yes, these will be, if you buy the AllAccess Pass now, you would need to buy in the future for the same type of AllAccess Pass. But even so, I think at $67, there is no other opportunity available anywhere close to this price. So I think it's completely reasonable for this conference. So if we go back to the last day's topics, this is kind of one of the trending topics in teaching, and it's been trending for building up for 20-25 years. I learned from Laurie. And Friday's topic is comprehensible input. And so in her session, Ashley Mickelson talks about the process of transitioning away from textbook teaching and into a comprehensible input approach. I had a fun conversation with her last week that we did a brief live interview on Facebook that is still available there. And I learned that she is only, if I remember this correctly, she is only a year into using comprehensible input techniques in her classroom. And so, she is, if you've never done any comprehensible input in your classroom, she's just ahead of you. So she's going through everything that you're about to go through too. So that's a fun session for you to check out. Sarah Breckley's session, I talked about this a little bit earlier as well, is I think it's a really cool session because it totally communicates Sarah's personality. It's so fun. It's energetic. It's dynamic. She spent a lot of time preparing her session in terms of editing it. And the other cool thing that I mentioned earlier is she shares 20 plus minutes of her own classroom and her students' interaction with her students. She did something really funny in one of her recent videos. I don't think it was in this session, but she pulled out a can of unicorn meat and described it to her students and got them to guess what it was. So be sure to check out her session and watch how she uses what she explains in the classroom with her students, and watch how her students interact. It's really cool to watch them motivated and excited the whole time in class. Let's see, Jody Stoddick's session is one that, if you're stuck to a textbook, because either for the most of the time when I hear that somebody's stuck to a textbook, it's because they are required to with their school, and so what they do is they use the textbook, but they work in as much of other techniques as they can. And so Jody's session really addresses that, and she discusses blending the two options, so the textbook option and the comprehensible input. And so it doesn't need to be mutually exclusive. She says it can be both. And she is another one that shares a long list of useful resources for you. The next session is Jeremy Jordan's, and he does a fun session on making it look easy to do and delivering it. And he gives you a whole bunch of tips on how to implement the CI techniques, and also provides just a huge list of resources as well. And then the last session I'm going to mention is Myra Canyon's session. And I said this elsewhere. She does this fascinating thing. This was awesome. When I started watching this, she took a textbook, a Spanish textbook from 1918, and compared it to a modern day textbook and weaved this whole story between the two textbooks and the teaching techniques around each of them and how they were different and how they were the same, and talk to you about how how you can figure out which are the right techniques for your students and for you to be using. And she helps you decide, is the old approach better in some respects, or is the newer approach better, and what's going to work best for you. So that's it for the sessions right now. We don't have any more questions pending at the moment. If you do have a question, drop it in right now, because if not, we're going to wind this down. It's been 90 minutes now, and it's time for us to move on with the day, and more importantly, let you move on with your day, spend the time with your family. So if you don't have any more questions, just to close out, I'm going to mention that I'm going to be doing a closing session next Sunday as well. Same time. It'll be a much shorter session. I'm going to share what I've learned about throughout the conference, and there's some. It's been a really interesting experience for me, so I just want to share my ideas on what I've learned throughout the conference. And the last thing I'm going to mention is that the AllAccess Pass cart will close on Monday the 18th. So after that, you won't be able to buy it at the $67 price. And in fact, we're going to close it down. You won't be able to buy it. If we open it up at some point in the future, that's possible, but it won't be at $67, and it certainly won't be any time in the coming weeks and possibly months. So if there's nothing else, no more questions, Deanna. I think that's it. We're done. Okay, well, I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us. Thank you to our presenters for joining us. This has been an amazing experience, and I know you're absolutely going to love what you're going to see in the conference. There is a huge amount of just insight and ideas available for you there, and hopefully you can get going and start taking action with those in your classroom. I'm Jared, and I want to say thank you for joining me today, and that's about it. Have a good day. Bye.